Hi everyone, welcome to MNGT 2150 Business Ethics for Spring 2 of 2022. I'm Dustin Smith. I'm going to be your instructor for what hopefully is an exciting and thought-provoking course. So I wanted to post a quick video just to give you a brief overview of myself and then what we're actually going to be doing in the course from day to day here. All right, so I'm a full-time faculty. I'm an associate professor of corporate social responsibility and strategy. So I teach a lot of courses related to business ethics, corporate responsibility, business strategy, and the intersection thereof. And I do a lot of research in that area as well. Things like shared value creation, reputation, corporate wrongdoing. So if you're interested in any of those subjects, please feel free to get in touch. I'd be happy to talk to you about research or talk to you about student research opportunities and things of that nature. I've been here since 2013, so oh my gosh, almost 9 years now. It looks like taught this course for quite some time. I have personally developed this course, the online version that we're going to be going through, and I've written the material for it. So hopefully you find it enjoyable. I've really tried to do something that I thought was kind of engaging, a little bit thought-provoking within the confines of an online course. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it here. Boom. Let me just make sure I'm switched over to, there we go, perfect, on the right one. Okay, so hopefully you are familiar with the Canvas course shell for all of our online courses. Hopefully this is nothing new. If it isn't, feel free to get in touch with me and I can help you navigate the course here. So I'll just start off with the syllabus. I put my contact information here. In fact, let me edit this just to get you the correct one. So it should be dustinsmith64 at webster.edu is my correct email. I am on campus. So if you're ever in the East Academic Building, my office is up on the third floor. I'm in 387. My phone number, this is my office number, 246-4259. Now, with what they have us doing, we're teaching a lot of online courses. We're bouncing around a lot. A lot of faculty members aren't really holding kind of traditional office hours. They're 9 to 5, butts in the chair, that type of thing. Moving around a bunch. So really my cell phone is the best way to reach me if you have a question about the material or anything that's due that week. All right, so here it is. It is an Idaho number, so that's not a typo. It is 208. Okay, send me a text. Just include your name so I know who you are. Most of the time if you call, I'm going to let it go to voicemail just because I get so many spam telemarketers and things like that. But if you do leave a voicemail, then I'll get back to you as soon as possible for the old cliche here. I'll let you go through the student outcomes, but essentially what you're going to pick up from this course is critical thinking abilities couched in ethical reasoning. Right? So we're going to learn some major ethical theories. We're going to learn a decision-making process. And then we're going to apply that to some real-world scenarios, all in this, all for the purpose of talking about, what is right, what is good, what is ethical, within the confines of business here. All right. So the textbook that we're using is Business Ethics, Decision Making, and Personal Integrity by Hartman, the 5th edition. Here's the ISBN if you need it. All right. All that good stuff here. And the rest of the stuff in the syllabus, hopefully you've seen before: academic policies, grading, honesty, statement of ethics, academic resources, all that good stuff. That shouldn't be anything new. Okay. Now, as far as what we are doing each week, essentially two things. And I know, love it or hate it, people have mixed feelings about discussion posts. It's really hard to create an engaging atmosphere when we meet asynchronously like this over the internet. All right, when we don't have a face-to-face in-person meeting or a hybrid meeting over Zoom, it's really hard to have kind of that class interaction. So a discussion post really is one of the few ways that we can accomplish that asynchronously. So yes, we will have a discussion post each week. And then we'll have some sort of assignment. So in general, most weeks you're going to have two things to accomplish. All right? You're going to have something to discuss with your classmates, and then you are going to have some sort of assignment to complete. Okay? So for instance, in this first week here, I'll just click on week 1, the role of the corporation. All right? So this is calling for you to read the assigned chapters, chapter 1 and 2, and then the associated course material. All right? What is the proper role and responsibility of a corporation in today's society? So it's a fairly ambiguous question, all right? One that you could kind of go really any sort of direction. What I'm looking for in these discussion posts is, are you tying it into the course material? Are you displaying your own critical reasoning rather than just saying, yeah, cool, bro? And, you're providing something insightful. Okay, and then as always, I'm looking for you to, and this is standard stuff across the board with discussion posts, is just try to keep the conversation a bit lively by responding to at least 2 of your classmates. It doesn't have to be anything major, just something substantive, something other than, wow, that's cool, I agree. Try to extend their thoughts a little bit, wow, that's an interesting point. Have you thought about this, X, Y, and Z? That type of stuff. Just a dynamic, engaging discussion post. I have the initial discussion post due by Friday, so be sure that you get, you'll see that these are going to be each due on the Friday of that week. So be sure to get your initial discussion post in by Friday. I do not grade these until Sunday, so you have until Sunday to kind of carry on the conversation and respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Okay? But again, try not to wait to the last minute to do these things. It's really easy in an online course like this to get overwhelmed. 2 book chapters is pretty hefty reading for each week. So if you're not keeping up with it, really, really easy to fall behind. Okay? So that's week 1. Week 2, we have a discussion about CEO pay. That's brought up in your text, okay, as well, and so on and so forth. Now, all right, the other thing that I wanted to do with this course, rather than just pour over book chapters, pour over examples in the material, I wanted to do something a little bit more pop culture oriented, a little bit more multimedia-esque, so to speak. So a big portion of this course is actually centered around movies, right, and business ethics in the movies. So there's a lot of movies out there, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of them. The Big Short, The Wolf of Wall Street, Boiler Room, all the big ones. Okay, and even though some of them are works of fiction, some of them are not, a lot of them can give us insight into ethical reasoning. Okay, and ethical dilemmas that people face in the workplace. So I've made sure to assign a couple of movies that we're going to be watching and discussing in this course. So for the first one, okay, this is Enron, the smartest guys in the room. And I'm going to post a movies guide right after this, which will give you links to where you can find these and give you sort of any warnings, content warnings about the movies. Some of these are fairly straightforward, but some of them do have some kind of some scenes that people might find objectionable. Like, for instance, Smartest Guys in the Room would technically be a rated R movie. There is a brief scene where it shows somebody topless. Okay, so if for personal or religious reasons you're not allowed to view that, or you don't want to view that, then feel free to get in touch with me, and I'd be happy to provide you with an alternative assignment. Okay. So, for instance, in week 3, we're going to be watching a documentary. It's called The Smartest Guys in the Room. It's available for rent for $2 on YouTube, and it tells the story of Enron and its downfall, mostly due to its leadership and its really toxic corporate culture. All right, so fantastic documentary. There's a reason that it's rated so high on Rotten Tomatoes. It's really cool. All right, so we're going to be watching that in week 3. We'll have a break in week 4 where we won't have a movie to watch. In week 5, we're going to be watching a classic movie. All right, this I believe it was in the late 70s. I want to say like 79 that this came out. Stars Sally Fields. Sally Fields actually won Best Actress for this movie. It's based on a real life person who was working in a cotton mill, and it details kind of the treatment of the employees at this cotton mill and the efforts of this woman to unionize them. All right, so even though it's old, it's a classic movie, really, really, really cool, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So in week 5, we'll be watching Norma Ray, and we'll be discussing that. All right, in week 6, we're going to be talking about ethics in marketing, and what better movie to talk about ethics in marketing than Thank You for Smoking. Thank You for Smoking is all about the spin doctor, and it's a fictional piece, but the main character plays a spin doctor, a PR person for the tobacco industry. And there's a lot of really cool topics that we can unpack with this movie here. You know, they advocate really personal responsibility, that, you know, it's your choice to evaluate the risks of smoking, okay, vis-a-vis the tobacco companies pushing smoking onto people through their marketing efforts and things like that. So Thank You for Smoking, fantastic film. It's like I would almost classify it as a dark comedy. All right, but really cool to watch. So we'll have I think a good discussion on that one as well. All right. And then as far as resource ownership goes in week 7, we have just a short video to watch. Okay, with regards to Nestle, it's a clip, and then you'll be watching, I believe it's the story of Stuff, actually, like another 20-minute video. So a short video in this week. So 3 feature-length films, and then 1 short one, and then we don't have anything, any video assigned in week 8. Okay. So as far as your assignments go, all right, these will be turned in directly to me. I'll be sure to open these up so you can submit your assignments into these into the portals here. Hopefully fairly straightforward. This week you're going to be listening to a podcast about Wells Fargo, and you're also going to be reading the opening decision point in your chapter. They both deal with this. I personally think the Wells Fargo Hustle, this podcast from Planet Money, is quite a bit more interesting. It tells the same story, but through the viewpoint of a recent college graduate, a young college graduate. So hopefully you'll be able to kind of relate to this a little bit more if you were put into this particular position. Okay. So here are all of your assignments. You can go through these at your leisure. They're all published. Work on them whenever. For the final project in this course, all right, you're going to be picking a movie that you want to analyze. All right, so you can pick whatever movie you want. It actually doesn't have to be specifically about business, but you know, if it contains elements that we've discussed in the course, I'd be happy to to accept it. So just shoot me an email and send me what you are going to pick. All right. And I've given some examples down here: Glengarry Glen Ross, Boiler Room, Wolf of Wall Street, Draft Day, all these types of things. And there's dozens and dozens and dozens of movies outside of this that you could potentially analyze. All right, so don't feel like you are stuck to this particular list here. Feel free to choose whatever you want. Now, for your final, and I'm going to tweak this a little bit, for your final movie analysis, all right, I'm actually going to get rid of the written requirement here. So expect this to change in a little bit. I actually want you to post a recording. I want you to post a recorded PowerPoint, right, that other students will be able to see. I want other students in this class to be able to see your work and see the movie that you are analyzing. So this is going to change here in a little bit. And I'm going to make it so that you can, if you want to, you can partner with somebody in the course. If you want to work together on this, feel free. I would actually really love to see that. I'd really love to see some kind of over the net collaboration here. All right, so you will be doing a movie analysis at the end, and then finally there's going to be a final exam here in week 8. All right, it's kind of a non-traditional final exam where you're doing a case analysis, essentially a case analysis, applying what we have learned in the course here. And that's pretty much it. All right, so again, an assignment each week, and then a discussion post, and then making sure that you are going through the readings. If you are ever in doubt on what we are doing in this week, all right, make sure to go to the modules. So we have an overview, all right, and then we have lecture. And if you have any questions about this stuff, please let me know, or if I've screwed something up. So I've written all of this stuff here. I've written out all of these lectures. So if something's wrong, if something doesn't make sense, please let me know. Give me some feedback so I can correct it for future courses here. So as you go through, you'll get to the activities page at the end of each week. Right? Here's the readings. If there's a podcast or something else or a movie that you need to watch, it will be listed here. All right? You'll have your discussions that you want to participate in, and then an assignment that you are going to submit. So again, if you're ever in doubt on what's going on during the week, just refer to the activities page here. Other things that are going to happen each week. So even though we have modules containing this written lecture content, what I'm going to do each week on Monday is post a short 10 to 15 minute video, basically kind of giving my own thoughts, giving an overview of what we're going to be talking about that week, and then hopefully covering some what I feel are some of the more complicated sticking points for the material. This is going to be especially true in week 2 and week 3 when we cover stuff that's a bit more theoretical, a bit more philosophical here. I think it's good to have kind of a multimedia approach with a video lecture, some written content here, and then obviously your book chapter. Okay? So hopefully it's rather straightforward what we're covering in this course. Hopefully you're going to find it rather enjoyable. I hope you enjoy not only the real-life examples that we're going to be covering, but also the movies that we're going to be watching and then finally discussing at the end of the course. All right? So, if you have any questions, actually, let me go back and we'll talk about one more thing here. So, if you have any general questions, all right, I have this as a pinned discussion up here. All right, Ask the Prof, ungraded open discussion. So this is going to be for any sort of clarifying questions and things like that. I am subscribed to it, so in theory, it should send me an email whenever a question gets posted to this discussion board. Now, in practice, I have found that to be kind of unreliable. It either gets sent to my spam folder, or there's a delay in the server and I don't receive a notification until the next day, if I receive a notification at all. I try to check this as much as possible in order to answer your questions, but there might be a bit of a delay. All right, so if you have a pressing question about like an assignment that is close to the due date, something that you need a more immediate answer to, then please either send me a direct email or send me a text message on my phone. That's going to get you a quicker response. Okay, but if you have something more general, something that doesn't need you don't need immediate feedback on, feel free to post it here if you want in this graded discussion post or this ungraded discussion post. Okay. So good. That should be it as far as the introductory video goes. So this week, be sure to read chapters 1 and 2. If you don't have the textbook yet, they are posted in the media section. I believe the first 4 chapters of the text are there for your perusal until you get the text. And then be sure to respond to both the discussion post this week and the assignment regarding Wells Fargo this week. Okay? Well, I mean, that's it. I'm really looking forward to this course. I love the material. I love teaching it, and hopefully you do as well. All right, so take care. I'll talk to you later.